Something extraordinary is happening in the heart of Germany, and it has the power to change the course of the Church forever. For years, Germany has been considered a spiritual desert when it comes to vocations to the priesthood. Official seminaries are struggling. The number of new priests is shockingly low. In 2024, only 29 men were ordained as priests in the entire country. Compare that to 1962, when 557 were ordained, and you can see how deep the crisis has become. The Church in Germany has tried to modernize, to appeal more to the contemporary world, changing everything from the language in its liturgies to the role of the priest and even the meaning of the Mass. But in doing so, it has lost something essential, its identity. In many dioceses today, the Masses are almost unrecognizable. They are filled with modern songs, inclusive language, and new symbols. There are generic talks about love and sharing, but there is little prayer. There is almost no mention of sacrifice, of sin, or of the need for conversion. In this environment, it's no surprise that churches are emptying. Young people are no longer responding to God's call. Some dioceses have had no ordinations at all in recent years. The few men who do become priests are often over 45 and are not the product of strong seminary formation. This is not just a coincidence. It is the direct result of choices made by many within the German Church to reinvent, reform, and rewrite almost every part of what it means to be Catholic. And yet in the middle of this decline, something unexpected is happening. A quiet but powerful revival is taking place, but not in the official structures of the Church. Rather, it is rising from places committed to the Church's ancient traditions. Communities like the Priestly Fraternity of St. Peter, FSSP, the Institute of Christ the King, and the Society of St. Pius V are experiencing something very different. These are not places of experimentation. These are places of stability, reverence, and deep commitment to the Catholic faith as it has always been taught and practiced. Young men in these communities are choosing to study for the priesthood. They are serious in their formation. They pray regularly, they fast, they learn Gregorian chant. They read the works of St. Thomas Aquinas. They spend hours in silent adoration before the Blessed Sacrament. They are not nostalgic or rigid, as some would like to claim. They are not running away from the modern world. On the contrary, they are engaging with it more deeply, by offering their entire lives to God without compromise. These young men are under 30. They wear the cassock with pride. They celebrate the traditional Latin Mass, and they are filled with joy, peace, and a deep sense of purpose. In 2025, the FSSP ordained 25 new deacons. 13 of these were ordained in Germany alone. That's almost half the total number of new ordinations in the entire German Catholic Church for the previous year. When one traditional community can produce as many vocations as all the dioceses in Germany combined, we can no longer ignore what this means. Tradition works, where the faith is taught clearly, where the sacraments are celebrated reverently, where people are called to holiness. Young people respond. This is the truth that now stands before Pope Leo XIV. The situation in Germany is no longer just a local issue. It is not just about one country or one group of bishops. It is a sign of something much larger. The Church is at a crossroads. One path is the continuation of reforms that water down the faith, compromise the liturgy, and attempt to remake the Church in the image of the modern world. On the other path is a return to what has always worked, a faith that is rooted in truth, in sacrifice, in reverence, and in unbroken tradition. For years, Pope Leo has watched. He has listened. He has remained patient. But now the moment has come when a decision must be made. If Rome does not act now, the risk is no longer just internal confusion. The risk is a formal schism, an open break in communion with Rome, a situation where entire portions of the Church no longer recognize the authority of the Pope or the unity of the Catholic faith. This is not alarmism. These are the facts. In Germany, we see reforms being pushed that reject core teachings. We see new liturgies that have little connection to the Roman Rite. We see the idea of permanent synods replacing the apostolic authority of bishops. If nothing is done, the Church in Germany may soon reach a point of no return, but there is still hope, there is still time, and there is a clear path forward. Pope Leo XIV does not need to form another commission. He does not need to write another letter that invites dialogue. What is needed now is a strong, clear, paternal act, one that says without hesitation what the Church believes, what the Church teaches, and what the Church demands of her ministers. This is not about choosing between old and new. It is about preserving unity in the truth. Because without truth, there can be no unity at all. Many in Germany will resist this. Some bishops may even openly reject it, but many others, especially the faithful, are waiting for leadership. They are waiting for clarity. They are tired of ambiguity. They want to know that the Pope is willing to stand with them in faith. They want to know that the tradition they love is not something of the past, but a living, breathing part of the Church today. The young men kneeling in traditional communities ready to give their lives for Christ are the real future of the Church in Germany. They are not the past. They are not a reaction. They are a response to a world that is hungry for meaning, a world that is tired of empty slogans, a world that longs for God. If Pope Leo XIV stands with them, he will not be standing against anyone. He will not be dividing the Church. He will be uniting it around the truth. He will be showing the world that the Catholic Church is not afraid to be Catholic, that it does not need to change its identity to be relevant, that it does not need to dilute its message to attract people. All it needs is to be faithful. Let the world see that the Church still believes in the power of the sacraments. Let them hear the beauty of Gregorian chant. Let them see priests who are not ashamed of their vocation. Let them witness masses where every gesture points to the mystery of God. Let them encounter communities where charity, obedience, and prayer are the foundation of daily life. This is what is happening quietly in Germany. And it is something beautiful, but it cannot remain hidden. It must be acknowledged, it must be supported, and it must be protected. If Pope Leo XIV speaks now, clearly and firmly, he will encourage these young vocations. He will affirm those who have stayed faithful through years of confusion, and he will send a message to the entire world. The Catholic Church is alive, not because it follows trends, but because it follows Christ. In the end, this is not a debate about tradition versus modernity. It is a question of life versus death, the death of vocations, the death of faith, the death of the Church's identity, or the life that comes from truth, reverence, and fidelity. The numbers do not lie, the fruits speak for themselves, and the time for action is now. Pope Leo XIV is being called not just to observe, but to lead, not just to reflect, but to decide. Will he choose silence, or will he raise his voice for the sake of the faith? Will he let the silent schism deepen, or will he call the Church back to unity? The answer will define his papacy. It will define the future of the Church in Germany, and it will echo across the world. There is no more time to wait. The facts are clear, the decision is urgent, and the eyes of the faithful are turned toward Rome. May Pope Leo XIV have the courage to act. May he see in the rising vocations not a threat, but a gift, not a rebellion, but a renewal. And may he, with the heart of a father, bring the Church together again in truth and love, because this is no longer just a German issue. It is a Catholic issue. It concerns all of us. And in the face of this truth, the Pope must decide.